Okay, Coach, it is Panda Week, but before we get there, we'll flip back to Saturday afternoon here. It was 21 all, and it ends 55-28. Talk me through your thoughts on the game against Guelph.
Yeah, we were able to come back, make it 21-21. They got a couple of quick touchdowns before going into half. And then coming in at half, we made some adjustments. We needed to get some 2-and-outs and get the ball back. Weren't able to do that. And then the big thing was in this, the second half and even the first half, the whole game was we were turning the ball over, right? We can't have 5 turnovers, 4 picks, and 1 fumble. It puts our defense behind the 8 ball there, and then it also hurts us as an offense moving the ball, especially when we're down in the score zone to put up points.
You do, as you said, you put up 21. You get 2 touchdowns from Dante Spadaccini. Talk to me a little bit about what you did like from the offense when you had possession.
We were able to move the ball down the field. We had some long drives, which was pretty good and exciting for us. And, to get Dante, we know how explosive he can be. So to get him into the game and then actually be able to feature him a little bit with some runs and get him some touchdowns was really important to us. And, at times we were able to protect and make some plays. But again, we want to be able to sustain drives. And we talk about ending each drive with a kick, and we weren't able to do that last week.
You do have 4 interceptions, as you mentioned, all to the same guy. Now this week, you're up against another really good corner, really good secondary, Cumberbatch and Denny Ferdinand, who we know well. What does the team have to do different to make sure you're hanging onto the ball and ending drives the way you want to?
Yeah, we got to make better choices when we have the ball. The quarterbacks, we got some experienced quarterbacks back there. They have to make better decisions, right? We put them in positions. We believe in those veteran guys. So when they're under center, make better decisions, and we don't have to force anything. We just have to take what the defense gives us and go from there.
The second side of the ball is the defense. Obviously, the big question is the explosives. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Now we're seeing it again last week. What adjustments need to be made to ensure that you're keeping Ottawa into short plays?
Yep. The biggest thing is to make sure everybody knows their assignment. I think sometimes we get into positions in the game where somebody's trying to make a big play. We just got to stay within the system, make sure communication is big. So if somebody's not in a spot or they see somebody out of a spot, make sure we're communicating, talking what we're supposed to be, echoing the call, echoing the down and distance, and understanding where we need to be, and then going out and making plays.
You do have a number of injuries. Is there anybody you can update us on? We know Anthony Lukin left last game. Obviously, no Schneider Cave. Maybe just a status update on the defense and the health back there.
Yeah, we're getting them. Got some guys banged up last week. Isaiah left early. I know Tucker left early. They're coming in, getting some treatment this week. We know Cave won't be back at all. We'll see where Lukin is at the later on in the week when they get back in tomorrow. Our big thing is it's a big game this week. We want to get as many healthy bodies as we can, and then if we don't get those guys back, the guys behind them are ready to go, and they got to go and perform.
After a couple of weeks of really dazzling on special teams, we finally saw Keyshawn Reed get the Devin Hester treatment. Nobody wanted to kick to him.
Yeah.
How does that change now that everybody knows what you've got back there? How do you change your approach on special teams?
There isn't a big change. We know they're not going to kick to Keyshawn. If he does get it, we can take it to the house. But we do have faith in the other guys that are back there, and they know, and we've challenged them. If they're not going to kick it to Keyshawn, then the next guy has to be ready to step up and make plays. And we got some explosive returners back there. Now they got to go out and show what they can do.
This is a game, arguably the biggest game in Canada. 24,000 plus in the house on Sunday afternoon. It's known for big moments. Is there anything you can give us? Is there anything in the works right now? Are we going deep into the playbook?
We've been watching them, and I know they've had a bye week. They're coming off a bye week, so I'm sure they've watched every bit of film that we played this year. We're also watching every bit of film that they've played, and both sides of the ball, all 3 phases. So I'm sure it'll be an exciting game. We'll have some things up our sleeves. I'm sure they'll have some things up their sleeves. But in the end, it doesn't matter about trick plays or anything like that. It's both teams going to be competitive. We got to go out and play hard-nosed football. It's going to be a battle, and it usually comes down to 1 or 2 plays, and we got to make sure we're making those plays this week.
With a young team like you have, especially with those injuries you talked about, if those guys aren't able to go, how do you make sure those guys are in the moment and not in the environment in such a big game?
Yeah, one of the things is we got to practice it, drill it all week. Right when we cross the lines and after that first kickoff, when we get that first hit or tackle or whatever it is, it's just another football game, and we got to remind them of that. There's going to be a lot of noise and everything else off the field, but making sure our young guys are prepared for that. We talk about being focused all week, and if they prepare, once the lights go on, we should be ready to go.